What are some very creepy facts? If you have tinnitus, you will never experience silence again, even if you go deaf. Your brain can create false memories that feel completely real. Some or many of your childhood memories may be stories you heard about and imagined playing out while being told. Have you ever parked and wondered, how the hell did I get home? No, you aren't zoned out. Your brain found nothing eventful in the activity worth keeping, and you've done the drive like this so often, your brain actively dumps the memory. You don't need it taking up space. Our brains were adapted to survey and identify threats. No threat. Safe. Dump it. Very similar effect of going through a doorway. Your brain sees the doorway as a transition. Everything behind you is safe, and so your brain forgets it. I'm simplifying it way down for length. The 10th President of the United States, John Tyler, was born in the time of George Washington. Tyler's grandson died last year in his 90s. How was that possible? John Tyler and his son became fathers at a very old age. So in just 3 generations, the Tylers lived through all the presidents of the United States. Creepy fact: the word creepy evolved from describing physical, slow-moving sensations, like insects crawling on skin, in the early 19th century, to a nuanced psychological term for, as psychologist Frank McAndrew puts it, the uncertainty of threat. The concept of eternity. I don't think humans are capable of comprehending the state of never-ending existence, even if one doesn't believe in life after death. Just one example of it. The slower you move through space, the faster you move through time. The faster you move through space, the slower you move through time. Astronauts age slower while in orbit. Photons don't age at all. Your tattoo is held in place by an immune response, permanently. This has been the best one thus far. Solid fact, interesting enough. Not intense enough to make you want to scrape your skin off to get rid of the mites. 10 out of 10. Bog bodies, ancient human corpses, we're talking humans from 10,000 years ago, have been found in peat bogs in northern Europe. These are humans from as early as 8000 BCE that are suspected to have been sacrificed in violent, ritualistic murders. If that isn't enough to creep you out, the environment of the bog keeps much of their body preserved. Hair, skin, organs, all kept intact, so the bodies have retained much of their original human form, except for their bones, which are dissolved. Look up pictures of a bog body. They are so fascinating, creepy too. Forensic anthropologists have even discovered remnants of a last meal in several of these bodies. I guess vegetable porridge and gruel were popular way back in the day. Also, statistically, someone out there remembers you for something you don't even remember doing. You might be the villain in someone's story and not even know it. There is a bug called the tarantula hawk that will attack tarantulas and paralyze them, laying its eggs in them while they're still alive. The tarantula continues to stay alive until the eggs hatch, and then they eat the host while it's still alive. Your intestines know what shape they're supposed to be in, and will physically move to recreate that shape if they're disrupted. If, for whatever reason, you get your guts outside of your body, they will move on their own to form the same shape that they did while inside your body. That's how they managed to all fit inside there. Literally one of my favorite facts ever. I just think it's so cool. Creepy, but cool. If you have a C-section, you can feel your intestines moving back into place for a few hours afterward. They are still finding bones of people that died in World War I. And there's a large area of Europe that can never be built on or farmed because of the unknown explosives and toxic chemicals in the ground from the battles. More than 100 years later, it's still cursed. Your eyes have a separate immune system from the rest of your body. If your main immune system ever finds out your eyes exist, it will treat them as a foreign threat and try to dissolve them. You are basically walking around with 2 roommates who can never meet because one of them will definitely try to murder the other. Whatever crazy conspiracy theory you can come up with regarding billionaires and the so-called world elite, it all seems plausible all of a sudden. A lot of homes have radon gas coming from their basement. I lived in the basement of a house built into rock for 2 years before even hearing about radon. Got a radon detector and the levels were 4 times higher than what is safe. Also, wasn't much I could do about it. During the 1992 to 1996 siege of Sarajevo, wealthy foreign individuals paid Bosnian Serb forces for the opportunity to shoot and kill civilians. Wealthy individuals, purportedly from countries including Italy, Spain, France, the United States, Russia, and Canada, allegedly traveled to the hills surrounding Sarajevo and used sniper rifles to shoot at the besieged population.
I would be far more surprised if this ever stopped, or if this was the first iteration of the practice.
You can grow tumors that contain teeth, hair, and nails, most commonly found in the testicles. If you sit in complete darkness and silence long enough, your brain can start creating sounds, shadows, or even the feeling that someone is watching you. It's called sensory deprivation hallucination. Your brain can recognize a human face in about 13 milliseconds, which is way faster than it needs to. So if you ever think you saw a face in the dark for a split second, your brain is very good at filling in the blanks. A pack of playing cards has 52 factorial permutations, which exceeds the number of atoms in our galaxy. So this means a well-shuffled pack of cards likely contains an order that has never been seen, or will likely be seen again. Quite astonishing, really.
The fact that fatal familial insomnia exists. It's a rare genetic disorder where, usually in your 40s or 50s, your brain just stops being able to enter sleep. It starts with mild insomnia and progresses until you completely lose the ability to sleep at all. You spend months in a state of permanent exhaustion and hallucinations until your body eventually just shuts down. There's no cure, and you're basically a passenger in your own mind while it slowly breaks.
They basically identified every family line in the developed world that carries this, which is kind of horrifying in its own right. I mean, if you were in one of these family lines, I can't imagine what it's like to go through life with that hanging over your head.
Scar tissue doesn't just form and then it's done. It's a constantly active process involving something to do with collagen. If you develop scurvy, the lack of vitamin C will mean that your collagen cannot synthesize properly, and all your old scars will just open.
If you are an only child and don't have children, it means that every genetic ancestor of yours, up to the first multicellular organism 500 million years ago, managed to procreate, and this 500 million year genetic lineage dies with you. Doctors used to handle corpses bare-handed, then delivered babies, killing many mothers and babies in the process. It's been less than 200 years since we learned to wash our hands.
Most laugh tracks used by TV shows to simulate an audience were recorded in the 1950s through 1970s, and the people laughing in them have since died. When you hear a laugh track, it's most likely dead people laughing.
The fact that unreleased Epstein files are 1,000 times worse than the ones that got released.
It's more horrifying to realize there will be absolutely no consequences for these monsters. There are more bacteria cells in your body than human cells.
That which is not alive cannot be killed. Prions scare me.
Due to 95% of Australia being uninhabited, experts believe several undetected serial killers may exist, with their victims lost in the vast landscape.
Several undetected serial killers are in North America too. Hell, we will never know who the best serial killers are because they'll never be caught.
I remember watching an episode of River Monsters where he was in Australia on some remote river and talking to some local fishermen. The cameraman had to stand far away to film, so you couldn't really see faces. Jeremy later explained that a number of the fishermen in those camps were wanted convicts, many of whom were wanted for murder, and so they wouldn't let the camera get too close for fear of exposure.
Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. It really helps. Subscribe for more, and tap the bell so you don't miss the next one.